Hey, what's going on, Z Nation? Zaid here, ZSPN. And today, guys, we're going to be talking about the Los Angeles Lakers as concerns Dennis Schroder and his surprising announcement that he made in the post-interview after the Lakers lost in the first round against the Phoenix Suns. And when it's all said and done, guys, it's now a perfect time to start talking about the Los Angeles Lakers and their expectations now going into the offseason, improving the roster, and there's going to be more news coming out when it comes to the Los Angeles Lakers and their priorities of potentially bringing back players. And one of them in the conversation is Dennis Schroder. Now, Dennis Schroder said in an interview, the post-interview, about him coming back to the Los Angeles Lakers. Now, guys, I don't know if you knew about the rumors and the speculations surrounding about Dennis Schroder and his situation with the Los Angeles Lakers. Now, we all remember back in March, Dennis Schroder was offered an extension for 4 years, around $80+ million. So, and he rejected it. So, the idea of him making that announcement, as a fan perspective, I kind of liked it because it kind of shows you that he is committed to being with the Los Angeles Lakers. But at the same time, he did put out there if the price is right. So it kind of puts into question of how much does he want? I mean, he's looking for around $100 million, being paid as the top, point guard in the NBA. So the idea of him possibly asking around that sort of range, he may not get that maybe with the Los Angeles Lakers, but maybe nowhere else. Maybe the New York Knicks, but it kind of remains to be seen of if certain teams want his services. So, but to have that out there and in the in that sort of statement out there that he wants to come back to the Los Angeles Lakers, as I mentioned, as a fan, that's great. But at the same time, he did mention about if the price is right. And he also mentions that he wants to run it back with the Los Angeles Lakers, wants to win a championship alongside LeBron and Anthony Davis. And he even said there's no conflict between him and the organization. So it's kind of an up and down type of speculations about Dennis Schroder and his status with the Los Angeles Lakers. So I kind of put things in the kind of a perspective now. It is kind of an up and down type of situation with Dennis Schroder and the Los Angeles Lakers. Now, guys, I'm just going to put this out there right now. I just watched a video with Lakers Nation, Trevor Lane, and I forgot his guest that he had with him, but he mentioned that the salary cap for the Los Angeles Lakers is kind of thin, because they will be over the luxury tax or something like that. I'm not sure what sort of situation the Lakers have when it comes to free agency. But when it comes to getting a point guard and giving them like a max contract in free agency, it's kind of not in a good favor for the Los Angeles Lakers. Now, for somebody like Dennis Schroder, for him to bring him back, they can. And again, offer him a lot of money. So it's like a type of situation where the Lakers, they have to wish that Dennis Schroder do come back. Now, I know some Laker fans, and I was one of them, kind of wanted the idea of not wanting Dennis Schroder back due to his performance in the postseason. I mean, in Game 5, he scored 0 points. He scored a donut. Okay? So he went 0 of 9 from the three. So, for a guy who wants $100 million and wants to be that type of top point guard in this league, you do not want to score 0 points as a paid $100 million point guard. So, I don't know. I'm just saying, when it comes to money-wise, I think Dennis Schroder should accept the offer originally that was given to him, around $80+ million. I mean, it was around 87. So I believe that is so fair enough for a guy of his stature, a guy who is basically like maybe top 20, top 15 point guard in this league. So, in my opinion, if he wants to, just play it safe, if you want to come back as you want to come back to the Los Angeles Lakers, as you're saying, then you should come back and accept that extension offer. Okay, you're not going to get $100 million unless you're the New York Knicks or somebody that needs a point guard like dramatically. Then you should pursue that particular player. But if he wants to come back, he just should accept the offer that the Lakers give him, and it's just kind of a win-win type of situation. And I hope he comes back because it kind of gives the Lakers a sort of a security-wise of, knowing that you're going to have a point guard of his stature coming back, playing alongside LeBron and Anthony Davis. So, hopefully, it does happen, but, still remains to be seen about that. I mean, we still have a long way to go until the free agency market opens, and, when it comes to just certain situations of, what Dennis Schroder will make his decisions. So, the statement's out there. He wants to come back, but, he could pull a Kyrie Irving and just say, what, I want to play for my for the Celtics and stuff like that, but then he ends up signing with the Brooklyn Nets. So, hopefully he doesn't do that to us, but, still remains to be seen about that. And, when I mentioned in the beginning of this video, when it comes to, priorities and what the Lakers should, who should they bring back? I already said this possibly. I said it in my last video, but it was just real quick and a quick statement. But, the top priorities to bring back is like players like Alex Caruso, THT, and, when it comes to, like players like Dennis Schroder, that's another priority as well. And then when it comes to big men, like possibly, an Andre Drummond or maybe, a Montrezl Harrell, which I kind of think now, due to the circumstances of him and the Lakers and how he was in the doghouse and just basically Frank Vogel not playing him for some reason, it kind of looks like that Montrezl Harrell may walk. So, I'm just putting out some perspectives and kind of a predictable type of players coming back. I kind of see those particular players coming back, and still remains to be seen who the Lakers will target in the free agency market. If nothing works out with Dennis Schroder, there are point guards who could potentially join the Los Angeles Lakers that could play good alongside LeBron James. There's Kyle Lowry, who I think he will get a lengthy type of contract, but still remains to be seen about that, because I don't think he's going to come back. He's going to go back to the Toronto Raptors. There's also Lonzo Ball, but he is a restricted free agent, and he may be looking for price-wise. And I already mentioned, the Lakers, when it comes to the salary cap-wise, it's kind of thin. So, if they ever going to sign a player, they could potentially sign a player around like $5 to maybe $10-15 million. I mean, that's my estimation of the salary cap, how thin it is. So, when it's all said and done, I mean, there's other priorities. I will talk about more about the Lakers and their situation when it comes to the free agency market and who they potentially be targeting. But, I mentioned those players. And, there's others like Markieff Morris possibly, but I don't really think the Lakers are showing a lot of interest of bringing him back. But, it still remains to be seen about that. And, there's just a lot of priorities. And when I heard about Dennis Schroder and his situation of, coming back to the Los Angeles Lakers, it's kind of an up and down type of, excitement, if you will. At one hand, the Lakers should bring him back because, it kind of builds a kind of security-wise of how the Lakers will build around, LeBron and Anthony Davis and potentially Dennis Schroder. But at the same time, you have to look at, what he's looking for. He wants to get paid. So he even said if the price is right. So, it's kind of hard to say what he's looking for. I mean, $87 million for 4 years, it's a great price range for a point guard of his stature. So I'm just saying, if he wants to play hardball and, wants to get paid more, go right ahead. But, at the same time, if he saying truly that he wants to come back to the Lakers, then he should feel the appreciation and just honestly, if he wants to play alongside LeBron and Anthony Davis and possibly win a championship, then he should just consider the fact to join the Los Angeles Lakers and accept what the Lakers are giving to him. So if he even said that there's no tension between him and the organization, then you should just say it, that I am officially going to sign with the Los Angeles Lakers. I am signing the extension as we speak, and it's just in the next couple of weeks or stuff. So he should just say that, but it's kind of hard to say. He wants to test the free agency market, and that's fine. But as I mentioned, it's kind of an up and down type of circumstances of Dennis Schroder with the Los Angeles Lakers, and with the statement that's put out there, it kind of puts as sort of an insurance that he wants to come back, and Laker fans want to hear that. But at the same time, he did not perform to the best of his ability when it comes to the postseason. So it's kind of hard to say. We just have to see what's the expectations now moving forward for the Los Angeles Lakers, and there's going to be a lot. There's going to be a lot of news when it comes to the Los Angeles Lakers and the free agency market. And, and I even forgot to mention, if Dennis Schroder does sign with the Lakers, it kind of builds a kind of leverage for the Lakers when it comes to trade-wise. If somehow down the line, if they want to trade Dennis Schroder, they will have the salary cap and they will have the price range of potentially getting a player like an all-star possibly, or maybe somebody that will just build a package together that will just fit well for the Lakers, and they'll make a trade happen. So, and the Lakers did not have any sort of trade assets to make a trade happen. So, they can do a sign and trade deal type of scenario and possibly get somebody like a Bradley Beal, or maybe possibly, I just watched First Take this morning, and, when it came to Damian Lillard, and I saw a lot of tweets out there when it comes to his circumstances of him and the Portland Trailblazers. So the idea of him, joining the Los Angeles Lakers have been brought up, but, still remains to be seen about that. I'm not putting out there that it's going to happen or anything, but, they're just rumors, and they're just, basic small reports. So, the Lakers can do it that way, and just do a sign and trade deal, adding on like Dennis Schroder, maybe Kyle Kuzma into the trade, and maybe a first round pick to get a Bradley Beal, or maybe somebody of an all-star caliber that can play alongside LeBron and Anthony Davis. But still remains to be seen about that. But guys, I really want to know your thoughts and your opinions about the Los Angeles Lakers and their circumstances with Dennis Schroder and him making a surprise statement of coming back to the Los Angeles Lakers. Will he sign with the Los Angeles Lakers, or somehow decide to go somewhere else? Or if you guys just are like other Laker fans and say, you know what, we don't want him anyway. Okay, he performed badly in the postseason, so why should we bring him back? It's just that type of scenario. If you guys are one of those people, then please comment down below. I mean, I'm kind of a up and down type of situation. I want him back, but at the same time, if the price is right. I mean, I personally want the Lakers to go after some players that will be a huge need for the Los Angeles Lakers. They will need shooters. They will need, shooting guards. Just somebody that can just, handle under the pressure and just score for us. I mean, I just want those certain players on my team, and we didn't have that last season. So, and even due to the injuries, I mean, you know, when it's all said and done, you know, we just need shooters more than ever, and I just hope the Lakers' top priorities will be shooters, and at the same time bringing back players like Alex Caruso, THT, possibly Andre Drummond, and maybe Dennis Schroder. So those are the type of players that I would love to see back with the Los Angeles Lakers. But, you know, still remains to be seen. It's still early to tell, and I'll give you guys my thoughts and my opinions when it comes to those certain reports moving forward, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for watching. Go Lakers. And guys, as I mentioned, you know, if you haven't yet, please subscribe to the ZSPN podcast. It is on Anchor, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, all of those great podcast platforms. So, you know, it's just, I really do appreciate if you guys show me the love and support on those particular platforms, and subscribe to the channel and like all of my social media sites, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, ZSPN, and I'll see you guys in the next one. And guys, anything that goes down when it comes to Los Angeles Lakers, I will deliver you all on this channel, and everything really, because it's now the offseason, and anything news related interests from the Los Angeles Lakers for certain players, or from coaching and stuff, I will deliver you all on this channel, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for watching. Go Lakers. Take it easy, guys. Stay safe out there.